Hey, Craig. Wow, man. Thanks for holding it down today. This has been great. Can you hear me? See me okay? Everything good on the connection?
Yeah, but you're wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. You look like you're on a soprano vacation over there. Like Jimmy the Cheese Man sent you to freaking Florida. Put on that shirt. Go have fun. We said you're on assignment. You were supposed to put on like the fake dirty clothes, mud on the face. Hey, man, I'm really sorry. I'm consumed with something now, but you got it, Pasta, holding it down. Instead, we're seeing that you're really not on assignment. You're on vacation over there, it looks like. What do you got going on?
Don't let your eyes deceive you there, Pasta. Sometimes we have to become one with the community that we embrace ourselves with. So we happen to be on the south side near your area, down in Miami here, working on things. But man, we've been multitasking, juggling all sorts of stuff, and I do appreciate the community that folks like you and Jamie behind the scenes here bring to the table every day, so we can multitask and reach out, because it's not a one-man show. I mean, I started as a one-man show, but as we figured out right away, I mean, it takes a team to do this kind of stuff, so we can be in more than one place at once, covering the stuff as it unfolds every day.
Yep. So. And tomorrow we're going to have Fiorella on the Truth Wire with Gerald Salente. Monday coming back, we'll figure it out. Matt will always fill in if I'm not there, if he's not there, or sometimes we'll just do it the three of us together and have a fun time. We formed this bond, and it's been a lot of fun doing the work. I can see that today that you allow me to stream this show on my Twitter, and it's almost 400 people watching right now. So that's awesome. To try to get the information out there. I think we are definitely still the censored ones out there. The other day, they wouldn't let me post a tweet yesterday, Matt, criticizing Donald Trump. I haven't talked about it, but this whole no tax and I'm not going to tax your tips argument is coming back into play. And it's so disingenuous to me, especially when people go, look at this and whatnot. And then there's people on the left. The big question is, why didn't the Democrats do this? Why is Donald Trump doing this? Meanwhile, in 2017, Donald Trump, he ordered his administration to produce a law that allowed, and once again, this is the whole thing, because it's hard to do this, a national law versus a state law, stating that the owners could take the tips of the wait staff and redisperse them out throughout the restaurant, trying to make it look like a fair redistribution, that people get a piece of it. Professional waiters like myself, managers like myself who didn't like that whole kind of mindset, push back against it. We understood, like in Florida, they have something called a waiter's salary, where it's like $6 an hour, but your tips are protected. So when Donald Trump tried to produce something that was that disingenuous, and he understands these laws, he's been in the hospitality industry for quite some time. Mario Batali, that guy, he was sued for over $1 million from his wait staff and lost for doing that same thing. So for me to see him go out there and try to push this, but even more disgustingly, more nauseating, is seeing leftists out there try to defend him for this move when he was so disingenuous to begin with, to act like all of a sudden he cares for you. That's what really gets you in the kicker there, Matt.
Well, look, it's the fact that, during the campaign trail, when he was doing the thing that, that Kamala was pretending to do, but we knew that she was the one that was the deciding vote. If you remember back then when the vote happened about the tips, she was the deciding vote against the worker. And we've been saying this whole way, we've been doing the show, we've been saying both parties are anti-worker. That's a fact. I mean, look, you can debate the little moments of pretending, but at the end of the day, both parties are against you. I like about this moment, though, Craig, is I like that both sides are kind of, well, not so much the Democrats, I guess, but the Republicans. They're saying, you know what, we can be for the worker too. We can. So no matter how disingenuous Trump is or not, we can see that we have to protect the workers, the tips. You and I are both. I've been in the hospitality business too, and we know that if you leave it to the owners, you leave it to the shareholders, you leave it to anybody at the top, that it's never going to trickle down. The trickle down Reaganomics stuff never worked, and I wish, actually, I'm hoping that the right can see that now, can see that was a failed policy. We knew the whole time. That was years and years ago. That was in the 80s. But
they want to return to that, Matt. They want to return to that trickle down mentality. They want to return to the Reagan era. They really do. They praise Reagan all the time. Sorry to interrupt.
No. They like the concept of Reagan, but the more we look at it, the populist right is realizing, and they may not say it out loud, but if you step back and you see how they've embraced RFK, how they've embraced the idea that you have to hold the big corporations accountable. The story that RFK tells so brilliantly, because you can visualize it. It's in his book, the Fauci book. And the right wing has embraced this story about how he says you can't just walk into the White House, and this was during Reagan. You can't just walk in the White House and say, hey, we're big pharma. We get special privileges. You don't have to hold us accountable for anything. Come on, man, just sign the damn thing. We're good to go. We want to get these vaccines out to kids. So they know that was wrong. And that was during Reagan. So I think we're in a process of that, at least the right kind of seeing, hey, maybe some of those policies are wrong. Maybe you shouldn't just let corporations do whatever the hell they want. And again, the worker is the one that suffers at the end of the day. So I think everybody's discombobulated. Everybody's all over the place. Trump makes that way. Trump makes the environment very chaotic and very hard to read. And you see people all back and forth depending on where the wind's blowing or where he's going. But one of the earlier guests did say this. Actually, they both did. Don and your previous guest as well had said that Trump does. The one thing you can count on Trump is that he does the thing he says he's going to do, even if it's total chaos. He kind of warned us for the chaos. The chaos is coming. So that's my overall take.
Very interesting. I mean, I would kind of subscribe to that theory too as well, that's what the people really want. But unfortunately, their hero worshiping blinds their actual view of what's going on. Because Donald Trump, even though, he sits out there and makes himself look like he's a man of the people out there, he wants to help the everyday working Joe Schmo. I mean, his whole argument, the tariff argument, right? I'm going to level the playing field. I'm going to bring back better wages here because I'm going to tariff the shit out of China, Canada, and Mexico so that some of those manufacturing jobs will come back here. It didn't work last time. He says it's going to work this time. I'm going to drill, baby, drill. I'm going to lower your energy costs. But at the end of the day, his administration, I know we're upset that it's filled with nothing but ardent Zionists, but it's also filled with billionaires, people who really don't care about the working class person. I mean, and just seeing Elon Musk when they had that whole HB1 visa conversation. By the way, I was just called and I just was tapped to go and be the co-host with Keaton Russell, right? Is it Keaton Russell? It was Russell Zabula.
Keaton Wise and Russell.
Keaton Wise, right? I'm going to be, me and Keaton are going to hold down Due Distant. I'm going to be the celebrity. I'm going to call myself a celebrity co-host for Russell. They're replacing somebody not as smart, but definitely better looking and a lot funnier. Actually, to tell you the truth, that would be an argument. I know I'm better looking than Russell, right? He's got this very unique energy that I have too as well. I think I got more energy, but I wouldn't call him a flat guy. He's definitely got a lot of spunk there. So I'm better looking. He's smarter. The argument would be is who's funnier, right? Because I can't even just take the cake right there, because even though I think I'm funny and witty, Russell throws some freaking, and he's got that kind of sophisticated, dry British humor at times out there. He throws him. He makes you think, and you think about it, and then you laugh 5 seconds later. That's how deep that guy's comedy is. So I won't anoint myself funnier than Russ, but I'll anoint myself a competition between Russ. And I'll be hosting his show with him on Tuesday. I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure, but I'll be on that show Tuesday. And we got a lot of good things. Dude, the call-in show, Matt, has been so much fun on Wednesdays. It's called Drive Time on WBAI. I love it. It's one of the most unique things I've ever worked on because we open up the phone lines and people call in. And it's real discourse. It goes back to the heart of why I started doing this, to have discourse, and especially to push back against the cancel culture and this kind of this isolationist mentality of sorts that was produced and pushed by the two-party illusion. So, I mean, it's a great show. It's a fun show. So I know I have that coming on too as well. Anything you else got to say, my friend?
Well, first of all, it's great to hear you're going to be doing some due dissidence there. I like the fact that we're all different personalities. We all have our little, kind of spins on stuff and little, just like our takes. Our takes are all, but we all come from the same place. That's the best part about being in the independent media arena with you and all these guys, with the due dissidence guys, with the Hard Lens Media, with all of these people. We all kind of start from the same place of principle and courage and conviction, and we're fighting the same machine, the censorship industrial complex. We're fighting the war machine, the Israel machine, we're fighting big pharma. We're all doing it all in our own way. I love the idea of different combos of team ups and stuff. So that's cool to hear you're going on there. And we can all kind of miss and match and go on each other's shows and all kind of do this thing together in our own way. I think it's kind of cool. The last thing I would say this, as far as protecting independent media, another twist of irony that we're seeing right now, and this is fascinating. I don't know if we fully talked about this on the show yet, Craig, but when you see that the Democrats, the vote blue no matter who's, are freaking out when they see Trump and Elon cutting certain journalists, as we say, journalists in quotes, outlets, and they're freaking out. They're saying, this is the end of media. Oh my God, we're all getting attacked. And I look at them and I go, you guys have no idea what it's really like to fight this machine. You have no idea when Biden, they come after and they pull the plug on RT and people doing real stuff, like real journalism. You don't know what that's like. And the reason I know you don't know is that you can post up a storm right now. You can go on any media, any outlet you want, even Twitter. You can post the crap about how horrible Trump and Elon are, and everybody, and you can say they're coming for us all. And guess what? No one's coming for you because you're on the side that the mainstream media has elevated and said you can do this. Go ahead, do all the posts you want about how you're afraid. You're afraid of this. You're afraid of that, and no one's pulling the plug on you. So that's how we know that you're not actually fighting the machine. We're fighting the machine, and the way we can tell is that we get constant taking our videos down. We get constant shadow banning. We get our channels freaking terminated. That's what we can tell that we're actually fighting the machine. So I just want to throw that out. That's the twisted irony. But we're seeing them doing that right now.
Well, Matt, here's the thing. What is more nefarious? What is more sinister? The fact that the Democratic Party, right? They were in power when your channel, Manila's channel, when RT, when Fiorella, when we were demonetized. I mean, all these things that happened to just anti-establishment voices out there, that happened under the Democrats. Republicans came back in. They haven't done anything to restore those rights. Instead, they restored the rights of the Republicans that were getting censored. Yeah, they lifted those people up. Like all these people, they make you believe, and they still do this every single day. Alex Jones does this. Donald Trump does this. Every single Republican does this, makes you believe it's a right versus left issue. That even when it comes to USAID, they're trying to blame it all on Democrats, maybe a couple Republicans like Liz Cheney and whatnot. But Republican presidencies used the USAID. They walked in lockstep with the USAID to overthrow other governments and have regime change, right? So them only restoring their voices. That's why I say the Twitter files were so, they could do just as much damage as much as the positive things it could do. Yes, it established the fact that Twitter and all these other companies are playing these games, censoring these people. They have mechanisms and tools to do that. But they only restored it, the Republicans, because they made it look like a left versus right divide in America. And they're still playing that same game. I know Manila was on the show. She says, well, we got to wait right now. And people like Garland, you've been going on Garland Nixon show a lot too as well. Sometimes they came across as Trump apologists because they were so sick and tired. And especially when it comes to the situation with Garland, he calls himself a lefty, right? So holding his own party accountable, because that was the party or the group he was in, is much more important than the other guys holding them accountable, because those are the other guys. Those weren't the party that you vowed to represent. And I was part of that whole Democratic Party at one point, and that's why we were so critical of them, what they're doing. But right now, look what the Republicans are doing. They're just kind of leaving it be. They're not restoring an open dialogue. They're not restoring freedom of speech. They're still giving the protections, right, of what's in the NDA, Section 230, which allows these people to get qualified immunity. This is why I say more than ever, one of the things we need to do is we need to come up with a bill, a sponsored bill, help written by a group, a think tank, somebody that's going to restore freedom of speech online for real, not just the Fugazi, whatchamacallit, written for it, that executive order that like ops like Ian Carroll and Mike Benz are going to stand behind. And I mention these guys' names because it's very important to understand that this is the mechanism. They went into, just like the Biden administration, the way they went in and paid off influencers and TikTok and whatnot to represent them, the Republicans are doing the same thing. Elon Musk has gotten caught doing this, lifting up his team's voices, but not giving you a reason and giving you transparency on why these other voices, like ours, the homeless ones, are still shut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, buddy, this is your show. Why don't you wrap it up and give the last word? We do have a video clip to play of Don DeBar that it's got almost 8 million views, and I think it's a great take out there. I think that too many people get caught in this left versus right paradigm, this socialist versus anti-socialist, capitalism versus anti-capitalist mentality. They put labels on people. Don gives this little excellent point of view about, hey, just look at this, brass tacks. Can we do this? Because this, what he says, let's play it real quick and let's get Matt's voice on it going out. Watch this here.
What is your hottest political take?
It's entirely possible to provide food, clothing, shelter, housing, education, and medical care for every human being on the planet without fighting a war or ripping anybody off or handing over control of yourself to someone else.
I completely agree. That's a good one. And it shouldn't be controversial to
know,
say that.
But it sure as shit is.
So what he's talking about right there, Matt, is the fact that, like, oh, you can't do this. That's socialism. It's more evil than it is. You know, he's talking about, all right, everybody on the planet, we have the necessary means to make sure that everybody gets, you know, food, clothing, shelter. And that's sometimes argued against. And that's a driving force for why a lot of people become socialist. And once again, I'm not supporting socialism, but I understand the mechanisms behind socialism, that we have enough here on this freaking bloody planet to take care of everybody. So why don't we do it? Because that is the right thing to do. That's the more Christian thing to do, right? Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say this. Words are important. We have to find the right words to unite people with. We talk about the Zionist movement and trying to figure out ways that we can fight that movement with the correct verbiage. And we don't want to get into, saying the wrong thing that's going to turn people off. In this regard, in this video, what Don is proving is that if you find the right words, you can unite people. Generally, they're programmed to turn off the communication. Say no when they hear when the right generally hears words like socialism, and they hear words like unionizing, right? You when you use those words, they go, oh no, we're not supposed to. But once you start finding the right language, you start to realize that we all actually want the same stuff. We all kind of believe in the same values of, like, it's a good solid family structure, a living wage, that people can had the right to happiness, the pursuit of happiness, which is in our Constitution, and all the stuff that's also promised in our Constitution. We all believe that these things are something we are entitled to, all the freedoms that are written in that document. Yeah. And so when we, and I say we, as in us in the independent media space, when we can figure out ways we can use the right verbiage, we can unite a real populist movement, because people will put those red flag detectors down if you're not doing those trigger words for them. So let's maneuver around the trigger words and find a way we can unite people. And I think Don's onto something there. So that's my take. Can I say this? Craig, can you?
I would always say, though, really quickly, though, how do you what good is freedom if you don't provide opportunity? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm gonna do this because I need to cut out here, and I'm not gonna take away the fact that you took the keys to the bus today. The keys. I think one of the viewers said keys to the Tesla, whatever it was, whatever the vehicle is. You're driving it right now, man. So I want you to finish it off. I'm gonna cut out you guys, Jamie, on the ones and twos. You guys end the show today, and we will see you back here. We'll be back next Thursday. We're gonna take Tuesday off, but I know there's a lot of stuff you've been telling people about. You're going to be on
Tuesday off.
We're taking Tuesday off. We got to get back.
I'm going to do Keaton's show. I'm going to do Dissident, so we'll fill on in over there for you on that day. We'll send a shout out. I'll slip it in, even if Keaton doesn't like it. Too bad for him.
No, he actually just accepted my friend on a request on Facebook, so I'm very happy.
Man. That's too long if you ask me. Keaton, get your shit together. Enough is enough.
Yeah, right. All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Matt Weinglass from the Homeless Left. He is sounding off with his Hawaiian Italian soprano shirt over there. He looks like he's about to go to the Bada Bing and give out some singles. We love him. Matty Weinglass, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig.